Anyways, hey, it's Sherry from Trail Wisdom Weekly and Trail Runner's Journey. And today's topic is about what do you do when you've got no real races, but you still want to train? Let's go. So, welcome to Trail Wisdom Weekly. And this is where it's all about real talk for runners, walkers, and hikers 35 plus who are in it for the long game and also the long game of life. This is all real talk. So, I'm a USCA ultra running coach, and so we're going to come a little bit of kind of a little bit of a coaching thing here, and I'm going to give you some points of what do you do when there's no races and you look at, okay, what's the point of training? Well, number one, there's more to training than just races. And it really is, because this is a point where I am, and I was here during COVID. In Canada, we shut down. There were no races. So what do we do? So let's look at it. First of all, why do you like to race? There's many reasons as to why you like to race. So let's look at it. Is it the medal, the buckle, the blank? Yeah, that's part of it. Is it a challenge that you want to do? You've never done something this much, this hard, or this or whatever. That's another thing as well too. Is it also you want to improve on a PR or something? There's many reasons as to why we race. There's no judgment and there's no wrong answer. It is, what is it? Why do you like to race? So you look at it, get your desire. What is it about the race that you really like? Okay, so let's look at it as if it's aside from the medal, the buckle, and the bling. Okay, let's look at it. Is it that you really like to test yourself? You really like to, for example, like you're going for a marathon, you train until that race, you have your marathon, you see how well you did. Well, what if we can do that a little bit sooner and a little more often? How does that sound? So let's look at, with race day, you've got all the structure, you've got all the everything, the crowds, you've got the finish line, you've got the aid stations and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. And actually, some people use that to experience new places, to experience a place they've never done before or a distance they've never gone before. They use that for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great idea. But what do you do when, you know what? I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel. Nothing really appeals. That's when you take it on your terms. And this is when you level up. So let's go into what I do when I'm feeling that way, which just happens to be right now. What I do is I do what I call is a till I'm done. And instead of going out according to a training plan, or like, for example, a long run is supposed to be this amount of time, I go till I'm done. Do I do it for everyone? No, I don't. But I do it for when the desire hits. And this came about of when I was training for death race. It was my first time, 24K in the bush in the dark. And we used to go for a 7.2 kilometer loop at a local rec park. And we would do the loop, the three of us would do the loop, and the other two would go off, and I'm standing there going, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. So I would go back out, and I'd go back out for another loop, another two, until I was done, until my cup was full. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it morphed into every week I do a 21 kilometer or a half marathon of hills out at this rec park. I loved it. Fast forward, COVID. What happened in COVID? Canada was shut right down. There were no races. So here I am, trained. I was supposed to be in races. Now what do? So I went and took that. I did some virtual races. I've done a 50K, which is a 1 kilometer loop. I did a 50K there. I did a 35K there. I also did, it was a marathon distance, and this was in the first week of December. My driveway was a 170-meter loop. It was a soul-sucking wind of a day. It was awful. It was miserable. I did a marathon. Why? Because I could. because I wanted to. And this is where you shift your training as to why you train. It comes from being a have to for a race to being something you really want to do. You want to see what you are capable of, not only physically, but also mentally. It's also a way to test out any fuel to have in your back pocket. So when you go to a race, you know what your fuel regime is. So, how do you do this with Till I'm Done? Well, basically, there are a few different ways you could do it. Number one, it could be time and or distance. So start in the morning, and when you're done, you're done. Now, when I mean done, I don't exactly mean until you're dead, you can't move another inch. That doesn't mean that. It's when you are finished, you're done for the day. It's kind of like eating a meal. Yeah, I've had enough. Same principle. It could also be strides. So you've got, for example, a long run to do, break out into strides. Let's say, for example, if you've got an hour and a half long run. I train by time, by the way, which I like a lot better because I am back of the pack. I find time is much better. So let's say, for example, you do a half an hour warm up and you do a half an hour cool down. Well, you've got that part in the middle. Do strides. Do strides until you know what you don't want to see another stride for at least another week. That's also another way to break up a long run. Hill repeats. Instead of putting a number to hill repeats, do hill repeats until your legs are like pudding. That works. And I like it like that because you know what? I don't have to count. I could care less about the number. I don't see the number until after I'm done and I look at my stats. Works for me. So there's a lot of ways to tell I'm done, and it puts a curiosity into your training and it puts it into where you're listening to your body and you have your own body autonomy with how you train. And the thing is, you're taking it into being more accountable and responsible for your training as to what how your body is responding and what it likes to do and what you like to do rather than somebody said so. Because training plans are basically they're unless you have a private coach that they tweak all the time, they're set up for an ambiguous person, really, when it comes down to it. So if you look at it and go, I got a long run. I have a 50K race coming up in 3 weeks. What if I do it till I'm done? How is that going to feel? That is where you can put it in. And that is where you get also a confidence builder as well, too, a till I'm done. Now, here's the one thing a till I'm done also does. There's nobody watching. There's no validation. There's no aid stations. There's no finish line dopamine. And there's no race photos unless you take them yourself. So this gets to be a big mental game. This is really good mental training. And this is when it comes down that this is raw endurance on your own terms. This is when you go out, you set up your aid station. And for me, it could be the back tailgate in my truck, or it could be a table outside my garage. And I go until I'm done. I practice my fueling. I have my fueling thing. I've got shoes to change into. And I don't know when I'm stopping. I really don't. It could be 3 hours later, or it could be whenever. But there you get to go and you really start to really get into the mental side of things. You start to negotiate. You negotiate with your body. Okay, I'm really tired. Can I go another loop? No. Well, can you go to that tree over there? I can go to that tree over there. So you keep going and going and going. And now sometimes there's going to be, no, I've had it. I've had enough. Done. That's fair enough. You could do that as well too. But it gets to be of where you're really alone with your thoughts. Personally, I run alone with my thoughts. I do not run plugged in. That would drive me up the wall. I'm alone with my thoughts. And well, that sounds boring. Well, I hate to say it, but it doesn't matter which race it is, how pretty it is. In the middle of the night, when it's dark and you can only see a few feet in front of you, it can get to be pretty boring as well too. So this is a way to practice the mental game. And it's really you're a lot of ways you're not the same person when you come out of these things as you are when you go into it, especially if you really take and stretch yourself. That you'd go and go, okay, I'm going to really do something that, you know what, let's say you've never gone beyond 3 hours. Well, stretch it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when you go that few feet after, or a few kilometers after. And it's in a lot of ways, it turns the training schedule into something that you want to do versus I have to do for a race. This is something I want to do because why? It's who I am. It's who I am. And it's it's for the love of it. Now, for races, this also gets me out of my comfort zone. So I have a couple races that I love to go in. I just love the races. Are they a stretch for me? No, they're not a stretch. They're something I like to do. But until I'm done, that gets me out of the comfort zone. And guess where I like to play? I like to play out of my comfort zone. Now, is it for everybody? Nope. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. Now, what about an FKT? Well, they're fine too. They're good too, and they're also the challenge. It's that challenge. Can I do that? Can I do that a little faster? Can I do that a little farther? They're great. I like them as well too. So, when you look at it, there's more to endurance and more to training than just to have the race that you're looking at. This is to have it so that you can actually become a more leveled up person than what you are. And how do we level up? We just keep going out there and we keep going further, doing something a little different, strengthening ourselves in a way we didn't think before. Um, Love hills? No, I hate hills. Hey, yeah, guess what? Go do some hills. They they'll humble you. They'll humble you and make you stronger. So look at what are you doing in your training and where can you apply something that it's a little bit different in the way that you do it, but boy, does it yield results. Could it be to add hill repeats into a long run? Find a hill. Well, I don't have a hill. There might be some stairs. There might be add some strides. Add some strides. Oh, add some walking lunges. There's lots of ways to do this and lots of ways to amp up the game and make your training plan a lot of ways more your own. And the big key for this one is to really listen to your body. Listen to your body when it says, enough, dude, I've had it. And listen to when it's like, yeah, I still got more at the bank. I'm just messing with you. There's where you get the discernment of when it's time to push and when it's time to pull the pin. So have a look at your training plan. What can you do? How can you take it up to the next level? I'd like to know. I can tell you there's some till I'm done's coming in my schedule pretty quickly. It's going to be after I do my crazy muley in the sand dunes on June the 6th. So there's going to be a till I'm done after. What's it going to look like? Don't know yet. The only thing I can tell you, I'm getting really excited about it. And it's something that really, it's my jam. So in the meantime, let me know. Let me know where you can spice up your training plan, even though somebody else wrote it, doesn't matter. Where can you spice up your training plan so it's something you're actually, hey man, I'm excited for this. Let me know in the comments how you're going to spice it up, how you're going to take it up to the next level. In the meantime, get out there, get some trail, and we'll see you next time.